Hello, I'm Anatole and welcome to my reaction video to The Crown Season 1, episode number 7. The title is Scientia Potentia Est, and its Latin for knowledge is power. And if you've been following my reaction videos for The Crown, you know that the format has been uneven. I've done a few reaction videos, a couple reviews, and then the last episode was a rewatch because I'd watched the episode before. And the reason for that variance is because of the coronavirus. The person that I began doing my reaction videos with, my partner Min, has been unable to do any more. And because the plan was for us to continue doing them together, often the plans to record would fall through. But starting with this episode, I'm working without Min for the foreseeable future, at least until after the coronavirus has settled and many of us have returned to normal. And so until that time, it's just me doing it. So join me after the brief introduction and I will give you my reaction to The Crown Season 1, Episode number 7, Scientia Potentia Est. Now we're in the past, okay.
Pendant le premier plat, vous converserez avec la personne située sur votre droite jusqu'à la fin. Time for the vice
I didn't know that one. Nice shot. Of course, she's in a color that'll stand out from everyone else, that blue. It's an old Hollywood trick.
There are two elements of the Constitution, wrote Walter Bagehot in 1867. The efficient and the dignified. Which is the monarch?
Dignified?
Your Royal Highness?
Kind of seems like BS instruction.
The dignified?
Very good. The dignified gives significance and legitimacy to the efficient and is answerable only
To God.
To God.
precisely
Ooh, I could be queen.
to institutions.
Shouldn't I know all of this too?
No, ma'am. All very undignified.
We have a special education for royalty. You're going to learn what we want you to learn.
Stein's changed his mind again?
Oh? What exactly has he changed his mind about?
That's rather less clear to me, but everyone's making a tremendous fuss about it.
She going to get a science tutor?
Can't be expected to know everything.
Well, no, that's the point, Mummy. I know almost nothing.
Her education
You
was
know
almost
when to
worthless.
keep your mouth.
But you deserve to put your feet up. And I think I would work quite well with Martin Charteris.
Martin Charteris?
Yes.
Is the
I
problem?
assume you'll give that your blessing.
No, not the way he said that.
Martin is the junior deputy private secretary, man the spare. Michael, the dean, is the senior, the rightful
He
heir.
wants to run the way the traditions run.
Martin is a younger man. It's a more natural fit.
If that is your majesty's wish.
That's an answer that says, I'm going to give you lip service, but you're not going to get your way. She's like everything, right? Has she won on anything yet? I think on letting her husband fly the plane was the one battle she won. But every time she tries to put down her foot, she gets argued out of it. He's the one she should ask about getting some tutoring.
I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting.
Not at all.
Oh, but I see you found company.
Yes.
Honey, sugar, Pippin, say goodbye. Thank you. Shall we make a start?
One item overshadows every other on the agenda this week, ma'am. The Soviets and their H-bomb. We now have confirmation that they have been testing in the Kazakh desert. It is vital that we act swiftly to secure peace, and vital that we British spearhead the effort. I have always been the person everyone wants in a room with the Russians, because Stalin would only talk to me. With him gone, there is a great danger that Eisenhower will take it upon himself to run the show.
These are serious
That would be
matters.
bad.
A disaster, ma'am, for all the obvious reasons.
She doesn't know what those reasons are. She's in the dark here.
Americans like to wave the big stick and speak with a loud voice in the matter of world governance. They are not yet ready.
It's a very paternal
They
attitude.
need...
Ooh. What does he have? Pull out the air bubble. There you go.
There are 2 private secretaries to choose from, and I happen to prefer the junior. So, shall we say
laugh.
that's that?
That laugh was saying, oh, there's going to be problems with this. What are we?
Is there anything I can do in the meantime?
No. Thank you, Martin.
We're about 10 minutes into the program. That is not the end of that issue.
Actually, Martin.
And this corrective surgery, must it really be Boston?
That's where the best man is. The only man. They're better equipped to deal with gallbladder problems in America.
Really?
High-fat diets they have here.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm not going to argue that.
I need you there, Anthony. I think we're all agreed. I need you.
And I need the surgery, Winston. It's my life that's at stake now. I'm sorry.
Oh, he did him dirty there. Stroke. Tinnitus! Tinnitus! Tinnitus!
There are frequently times when I am discussing agendas of the day with these people that I find myself
She's being really vulnerable.
on the back foot.
And that's no way to live. To be uninformed and entirely at someone else's mercy.
Quite.
Nice,
Which is
showing
why I was
empathy.
hoping that you might help me.
Perhaps Her Majesty would give me an idea of roughly how far she got.
Now she has to
The
admit,
higher school certificate, for
none of it.
example.
Nope. Homeschool. Homeschool!
Any privately tutored equivalents thereof, perhaps?
That would be quite the challenge as a teacher.
Oh, don't force something that doesn't come naturally, dear. That's what I've learned. We all have to accept our limitations in life.
Definitely a clash of generations there. Worldview.
What about that tree? It's blocking all the light.
I dare say one could ask to have it trimmed back.
Will you ask?
Is that tree gonna cause him not get the job? Tree that's been there hundreds of years or something like that.
It seems that Martin Charteris is to replace you as Her Majesty's private secretary, not me.
What? Says who?
He already knows this, right?
You asked to see me, Tommy.
I did. Do sit down.
Not good news. Asking you sit down.
President Eisenhower. He'll be coming here in a matter of days, and I'll be expected to sit next to him and make conversation with him.
The military-industrial complex, ma'am.
Oh, this professor seems on it.
I had early missed on an each-way bet.
Oh, well done you. You won by 20 links. I share your admiration for Mr. O'Brien
Horses.
and everything he's doing. at
Does
present.
Eisenhower like horses? Eisenhower's a general. He might be into horses. If he's into horses, they're off to the races, them too.
If Eisenhower isn't coming, blame it on him, not on Winston. The Queen must never know how much we've kept from her.
Literally see the old guard versus the new guard. The scheming the old guard is doing to keep power.
In this instance, I really do believe you'll be better served by Michael.
No, you don't.
Your eyes are all going down as you talk.
You don't. Have you been spoken to by Tommy Lascelles?
Ma'am,
You have. And what did he have to say?
She can read his every gesture.
that I obviously have no respect or understanding for palace tradition and protocol, and that it must be MacLeod.
They're always pushing back on her. Where's she gonna be able to push back on her own? She didn't summon him. He went to her. She went to him. So she must be really livid.
Saying this, I would prefer Martin. Abdicating the throne and choosing my private secretary is hardly comparing like with like.
I disagree. I served your uncle, as you know. And it's in the small things that the rot starts. Do the wrong thing once, it's easy to do it
Slippery
again.
slope fallacy.
And the senior of my two deputies and the natural heir is Michael,
Your man.
the right man.
Is she going to push
But,
back?
as always, the final say is with you, man.
Up to now, except for Philip and the airplane, tradition's always won.
Just had the palace on the phone requesting a private audience this afternoon. Seems the Queen wants to see you, sir.
What's this about? Is it about Churchill? My inclination is it isn't, but he might say something that leads her to guess there's more going on with Churchill than a simple cold. I think she's calling about Charteris,
So what's all this about?
but he's going to get nervous and blow the secret about Churchill. That's my guess.
And before Her Majesty says anything else, let me just say how sorry I
There
am.
he is. He's going to talk about Churchill.
After the second one, I really was of a mind to let you know the truth.
Second what?
Stroke, man.
Boom, boom, boom.
And who was it that was doing the insisting?
Lord Salisbury, man. And the Prime Minister himself.
It's like, what did I just stumble into?
I see.
Now she really feels
That is what you asked me
unaided.
to discuss.
I asked you here to discuss whether I should take MacLeod for my private secretary. But what you've just told me is far more important.
Now she's really angry. Woo! So she knows she doesn't have any allies around her.
No. You were drilled for years in the finer points of our Constitution. You know it better than me, better than all of us. You have the only education that matters.
So what would you have me do?
He's really empowering her.
Summon them.
I'm afraid I urgently need something from Windsor Castle. At least I think it's a Windsor. It might be at Sandringham, or Balmoral,
Too many castles.
or it might be here.
It's a treasure hunt. They had to go looking everywhere. Trust? Didn't she underline trust when she was taking notes? I think she did.
You have hampered and bamboozled the proper functioning of the crown.
She's letting him have it. Taking a trip? Okay, so he didn't betray that she got to him. If he had kind of tripped there, that would have shown that she got to him.
Prime Minister.
Luke says, oh, I just got it. She let me have it.
Prime Minister, Your Majesty.
Okay, so what tact is she going to take with him? She has to be empathetic on some level. There's trust. Welcome back. I just want to give a couple brief thoughts on the episode, Scientia Potentia Est, mainly about the theme of education. And in the episode, Elizabeth's goal is to correct a wrong from her childhood, from her upbringing. And here, it's measured in her education. And she's become aware, now that she has assumed the duties of being monarch, to her, that her education was not sufficient to the task that is going to be her life, more or less. And the showrunner uses this to illustrate a couple things. One, that even though she is the monarch of England, she still faces the prejudice that women of her era faced about trying to get an education. Her mom, the Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother, demonstrates that by saying, well, why would you need to fill your pretty head with all those silly thoughts? You're never going to need them for anything. Secondly, Elizabeth's education is used to highlight the palace intrigue of the historical events that occurred only 3 weeks after her ascension to the crown. The show doesn't quite make that apparent, but this episode takes place 3 weeks after she became queen. And so we see there's a deficit of trust between her and Churchill. She just trusts Churchill, but Churchill does not trust her to fulfill her duties to England. And so when he feels that he is going to be unable to do his duties as prime minister because of his 2 strokes, instead of telling the Queen that and losing his job as prime minister, he hides it from her, creating a constitutional crisis. And so this subplot of the tutor brought in to help Elizabeth with what she feels is a deficit of knowledge. By the way, that tutor is made up for the show. There's no indication she had such a tutor. The conclusion at the end of the tutor is that she knows everything she needs to know because she is probably the expert on the Constitution of England. And the irony of that is that in her quest to improve her education, her quest to make her world a little bit larger, including bringing in someone she feels should be her right-hand man, Martin Charteris, only leads her to the place where she began, and that is that her education was sufficient. What she needed the whole time was the confidence to apply that knowledge and education. And because she has been denigrated for being young and for being a woman, she lacked that confidence that she needed. And when she finds the confidence she needs, because of her natural talent for learning and her natural diligence in learning, she finds everything she needs to handle that constitutional crisis. Although in the end, she doesn't have any real hard power. As is elaborated to her, the government runs in, the power of the government is split into 2 branches, the efficient and the dignified. And the dignified is really a soft power. It's one of moral suasion. And that's what she attempts to do at the end of the show. So that examination of education within the episode brings out a couple of interesting issues. And I think this is one of the better written shows in the season. All of them, with the exception of Act of God, I felt have been a master class in how to handle episodic television. And that's all I've got. So thank you for joining me. I hope you are well. Please take care of yourself, stay healthy, and until next time, see you. Welcome back. And now to give a brief try that again.